This is Charlie Parsons for the Stomping Ground, powered by Wow Hydrate and available on DAZN. I'm in my England kit. I don't know whether this is going to go up before or after, uh, but El General, you've had a week of Oscar Bevis. How was your week of Oscar Bevis?
Oh, a lot less painful than a week of you. Why do you put your hair under your hat like that? Like, is that a thing?
Don't really know, mate, to be honest. I'm only wearing one because I need a haircut. And obviously, we're going to the boozer for the game after this. So, got to
So
make.
what?
What's that? Go on. Look, it even follows you drink your coffee.
But like, oh, what is it moving? Is it? Yeah. Anyway, um, yeah. I get confused by like when I was growing up, when I was your age,
Hmm.
we wanted to look the bollocks. We would wear like a black fitted shirt, black trousers that were so tight, like, and probably like 6 inches up the ankle with no socks and Gucci loafers, but it would all be about like slick back hair, clean shaven, like, trying to look the bollocks. And then I just feel like with your generation, like I look at you now and I think to myself, like, imagine me being what are you? So you're like, are you 14 yet?
13,
Okay. So, but you're 19, right?
21.
20. 21. Wow.
Yeah.
Time flies fast, isn't it? To think of me dressing like you or looking like you at 21.
But I always
Like,
find this slightly hypocritical when I look back to, can you
what
imagine?
I'm saying is, right, if you would have been around in my era, looking like you do and dressing like you do now, right, like looking at you, the thought of you being out in an environment where, like, I think you would have been sort of
Yeah, but it's different. Yeah, but
sectioned
I'm not
or
in
like escorted
section.
from environments. Yeah, because people just like, what? Look at that fucking bloke over there. What is he about? What is he all about?
Well,
He's
because
weird.
I've got a billionaire boys club hat on and an England shirt.
But like the whole thing, like the hair under the hat, like this,
They
these
can't
sort of
see me, to
wisps,
be fair. Yeah, I know
these
this
wisps
ain't great.
that
This
you've
ain't.
got here. Yeah.
Um,
But listen, but I think in today's world, that's what the kids are all about now. I mean,
I'll take it. And if it's cool in my world, Edward, then it doesn't matter if it's
you
not.
know, one thing I will say, this is the one thing that I've learned, and I never used to be about this because I was definitely a little bit of a follower when I was younger. Probably a little bit insecure, if I'm
I
being
see.
honest. Like,
I've never been a follower.
no, and you know what? One thing I actually respect about you is I don't think you're actually insecure or you actually give a shit.
Nah.
But I definitely did when I was younger. Like I was really like trying, I would go out and I'd try and be like,
I think that was you, my friend. Not gonna
was
lie.
it?
Yeah.
Anyway, I was like you growing up. I was a little bit tubby. I was out of shape physically, and I was definitely a little bit
Oi,
insecure.
what's oi?
What?
The chubby part used to be true.
Yeah, but the thing is with you, Parsons, and this the same goes for me. Not so much now, because obviously I'm ripped to shreds. But when I was your age, I just feel like genetically
Yeah, no, yeah, I
we're
know.
not
I hear
like.
that.
And Kai says to me, this genetic thing is a load of bollocks. I actually don't agree. Like I have mates who, when we were like 16, 17, were ripped to shreds, and they didn't really do a lot. And I've never been ripped to shreds in my life, never. But when I was your age, I was definitely insecure. Although I was Jack the Lad and I was like the biggest mouth in the room. And I think that the one thing that I've learned, especially when it comes to fashion, right, is this. And actually, this is true to life as well as fashion. If it makes sense to you, it ain't got to fucking make sense to anybody else.
Bang on.
That's the truth. So when someone says to me, Ed, what is that? Like Frank Smith will do it all the time, right? You'll do it all the time. But Ed, what are you wearing? And the answer is this, mate, I put it on. I looked in the mirror and I said, you're the bollocks. That's it. That's all
I
that
love
matters.
that. I love
No,
that
but
attitude,
that's
though.
so true, isn't it?
I
And
think that's
actually,
how we should be.
do you
I've
know
never
what I think?
once walked
It's
out.
taken me a long time to realize this. But what is actually cooler is the fact that it doesn't really make sense.
Or that you don't care what other people think.
Yeah, that of course, that should always be the fact. But that, like, you know, oh, why are you wearing that with that? You should be wearing that with that. What do you mean I should be? Who says I should be?
Mm-hmm.
What? Instagram says I should be? Or like everybody else wears it like that? Well, I don't give a fuck. You know, and as I get a little bit older, I mean, I'm well out there these days. I mean, look at this.
Yeah, you're donning
Got
that.
got a little. AJ bought me a little. I've never worn a chain in my life. Some people might call it a midlife crisis. I think it's more like just don't give a fuck. And actually, it's just fun.
On the topic of chains, do you still have that D&G chain that you said you'd give to me that you
No,
never...
I lost it. I left it in a hotel room in Mexico.
Ah.
Yeah.
I wanted that. Right, quick question before we start, because you know what all the comments are going to be like. Skip to 6 minutes for the bullshit to stop. Edward, what are you thinking of the Stomping Ground, right? We launched it 4 or 5 months ago. We've got Ben on board. I'm happy. I would obviously look up to your wisdom.
No, I think that, you know, in terms of Stomping Ground, when it first started, I was quite excited about it, and I thought it had good potential. I think it's been an absolute pile of shit ever since. But you know, it's early days. No, I'm joking. I think that this is what I think is happening at the moment, right? You have got all these outlets, right? I go to, when I do a press conference, and you're all welcome, right? More the merrier. There are so many YouTube outlets now that where it used to just be like IFL, massive views, and then you had like Boxing Social and, you know, various different people. It's becoming very not evenly spread, because you still got IFL still doing massive numbers, you know, but there are a lot more outlets that are providing content and interviews. So the numbers are really evening out across the board with multiple outlets rather than just one. So I think that the key, I said that I did an interview with October Red this morning, and I think asked some really good questions actually, and they're very different to most people's questions. Like when I do a presser, Eddie, tell me what's your thoughts on Ryan Garcia? What's happening with Conor Benn? Who's Canelo fighting? Talk to us about AJ. Like, and every interview is the same thing. And I think the ones that do well are the ones that aren't. You know, you just said there about, oh, people will moan about those 5 or 6 minutes. I mean, the wider audience, which is always very important. I was going up the escalators on yesterday at the airport, and this kid, early 20s, had a photo with me, and his dad was there, and he went, "Oh, watch all your stuff. What's that bloke you've been interviewing for years?" And I said, "Oh, Coogan." Yeah, Coogan. He went, "Oh, and that young kid as well, who you always take the piss out of." I said, "Oh, Parsons." And he went, "Yeah, that's him, Parsons." Like, people like that sort of stuff. Like, boxing fans, of course, want the nitty-gritty questions. But the reality is, people just want to be amused. People want to have a laugh. And I think that's, but you've got to get the relationship with me, and you've got to get that vibe going where I actually, like, every interview is a chore. And the ones that aren't so much of a chore is when you're not just going, "Yeah, go on, fucking ask about Ryan Garcia, go on, ask about," you know, and I know you will later on, but yeah, I think it's all right. I mean, how do you think the numbers are going?
Yeah, I mean, numbers are silly. We're looking into the multi-sport expansion, which is exciting. Shout out Matchroom, because we've also got the darts there as well.
Yeah,
which is very exciting.
Just be careful, you know. I think you've got to be careful what you become or what you try and become. Like, I think that when IFL launched, they were like, "I film London," so their plan was to go into, you know, these reality red carpet news, other sports and stuff like that. But they've carved out a business within boxing. And I think you just got to be careful that if you do that, you don't lose touch with the boxing audience.
I think now we have 2 people, boxing will always be the bread and butter. But if we can go and stick in a little Luke Littler in as well.
But then if you don't do those other worlds, you may never grow to your potential.
Well, thank you.
Double-edged sword, do you know what I mean? But let's be honest. I mean, you're just free rolling in life because your trips, your lifestyle, and that bloke also said to me, and you know how many people have said to me, "Oh, put Parsons on the map. I only really listens to Parsons because of you, giving him the leg up." And part of me will always own you for that and own your soul. So that's quite rewarding, that no matter how big you become, I actually want you to become really big because it'll all be down to me. And, like sometimes we go, "Oh, yeah, you always say that. It's all down to me." It absolutely cannot be argued that it's all down to me.
With a little bit of just a hint of business acumen in there as well.
No. No. I mean, I gave you the whole platform. I set you up like a fucking, I put it on a plate for you, Parsons. You know the silver thing that on those posh dudes where they go like that? It was almost like that. I just turned up one day with that and went, "Parsons, voila, there's your path in the world."
Some people comment saying, "Don't believe all the bullshit. Hearn is actually his godfather."
I mean, it might as well be.
Right, Edward, you're in Philadelphia. Apparently, it's scorching hot. Boots is fighting his Matchroom debut. You must be so excited. You've got a real
I mean, I don't think that enough gets made of how well we're doing over here at the moment. We'll come on to Shakur in a minute, but people spin narratives in all walks of life, but particularly in boxing. So, we live in a world in boxing where people talk unbelievable amounts of shit. People make up stuff. People try and put you in a bad position. People try and spin a negative narrative, and that's, we'll come on to Shakur in a minute. But we're flying over it. I mean, our last 3 events, will be obviously Subriel Matias against Liam Paro in Puerto Rico, 9,000 there. Bam against Estrada, just an incredible event, incredible moment. 9,000 there. And now Boots. Hello. Yeah, is that my salad? Yeah.
Two of them, right? Your colleague ordered.
Oh, that's me. Yeah, that's fine.
That's you.
Has that got the chicken in? Yeah, that's perfect.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
And that's for the other guy.
Lovely. Do you have any dressing? Oh, there you go. Fantastic. Thank you so much.
This is yours and that's his.
Lovely.
Okay.
Oh, you're a legend. Thank you so much.
Not getting it out.
Bon appetit.
Thank you very much.
Can we have a little look, Edward?
I don't know.
You want me to close this again?
Yes, please, if you can. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, that looks all right. Is that
It's
feta?
a strawberry and almond, or almond, whatever you want to say.
Oh, I don't agree
Salad with goat's cheese and chicken.
I think strawberry.
And unlucky for you and the viewers, I'm going to fucking eat it while I'm talking. So tough shit. Anyway, Bam against Strada. And now 13,000 for Boots against Abanesian, the biggest fight card in nearly 50 years in Philadelphia. So I think we are really getting our teeth into this market. And I'm excited. I really believe Boots is a pound for pound talent. And I think it'll be a great show Saturday.
A reflection on Johnny Fisher last week. Sensational, very quicker than any of us would have anticipated, even if we did really predict an early one. Out again now in Manchester, activity's key. And then there's also a little bit of talk about a Dave Allen fight.
Yeah, I think, going back to that wider audience, Johnny's someone that really captivates that. Felt really fresh in there because, we've seen people with big followings, Jack Cattrall, obviously the Josh Taylor fight, Josh Warrington, but this was really fresh. Nearly 7,000 in the copper box, great atmosphere, great performance, exhilarating from Johnny Fisher, and he's got unbelievable potential. Now he'll box August 24th on the Cattrall Pro Grey card. Then he'll box in Australia, it looks like, for the Paro homecoming. And then he'll headline again early 2025. And we've got to look at, these next 2 fights are all about gaining that experience, banking those rounds, becoming battle ready for the big tests. And I know there's talk about a Dave Allen fight. I think he's got a fight coming up. If he has another fight after that and looks good, he's a consideration. Adelaide, Dakers, maybe the loser of Clark against Wardley, but that will be the options for the next headline in London.
Well, that's a considerable step.
Yeah.
Dillian Whyte was ringside. Now, in the past, when obviously the drug...
Do you know what I think as well? Yeah, I think that fruit in salads is massively underrated. No, it's not. No,
you can't have strawberries with your chicken and goat's cheese.
You fucking do, because there's one right there. Look,
that's horrendous.
It's unbelievable.
That's scandalous.
Apples,
not in a salad, mate.
Cranberries. Raisins.
And can I just say, this is why I don't call myself a journalist.
Well, that would be ridiculous if you did.
Well, you said if I didn't or did.
Well, no, actually.
Because you said I am, and I said
no. It would be ridiculous if you called yourself a credible journalist.
Okay, there we are. That works. That's fine. Dillian Whyte was ringside. Now, after there was the failed drugs test in the lead up to the AJ fight, you said your loyalties were always with AJ and always have been with AJ. He's always been a long-term fight. Major comments about one fight things. Have there been any sort of talk? What's his situation with the British board? Can we expect him to fight on a card of yours? I mean, where does it lie in your mind?
I mean, it's not down to me to speak on Dillian's behalf, but the way that it appears is he wants to get himself back into the mix. I think he's planning a fight in September and then wants a massive fight. As I understand it, he's not licensed by the British Boxing Board of Control. Hasn't been for many years. I know he's had his disputes with them in the past. He's clear to fight. Whether he'd be allowed to fight in this country, I don't know. But wants to get back in the mix.
What's his feeling towards you?
We've always got
on.
I think that
there was a time where he felt that sort of a little bit under the bus, perhaps.
No, I mean, we've always done decent business together. Dillian's people are going to do what they feel is right for Dillian and not show loyalty really as a matter of perhaps priority or preference. And I get that. It's just like, and that's fine because we can operate in the same way. That's not my preferred choice because I like to build relationships and journeys with a fighter. I want actually I want to be friends with you. I want to share a journey. And when it's all said and done, I want to look back and go, that was great, wasn't it? Amazing. And that's quite rare in boxing these days. But when you're not dealing direct with a fighter and you're dealing with an advisor who knows fuck all, and I'm not talking about in Dillian's case, by the way, but just sometimes in boxing, they don't want you to get close to a fighter. They don't want you to, because the reality is you don't really need an advisor or a manager if you've got a real promoter or a trustworthy promoter. That's the truth.
I suppose on that topic then of people whose advisors have been questioned in the past, it's Eubank Jr. who's signed to Boxer. What did you make of that? And I know that you, there was a point where you wanted to sort of, well, you said that you were open. What happened there? Are you able to?
I didn't have any talks with Eubank. Frank Smith had a couple of chats with his team. He wants a comeback fight. Well, he wants 2 comeback fights. And we wanted to give him 1 and then fight Conor Benn. And the last message I saw was yesterday or the day before saying, look, we're going to do these two warm-up fights, if you like. And then we'd like to fight Conor Benn. So stay in touch and go from there.
Boxer.
Sorry?
Is that from Boxer or Eubank's team?
No, from Eubank,
Oh,
from his
okay.
team. Yeah. I don't know, it's weird. It's not a promotional deal, it's a partnership deal. I don't actually know what that is, but...
Do you know about the deal then, or...
Sorry?
Know the extent of the agreement between the two?
2 warm-up fights, and then, I don't know. I have no idea.
I suppose on the topic of Ben Shalom, I was going to say spending a bit of time with him. You didn't really at Clash Danny, but you had your first conversation as such, and then he was there at the AJ press conference. Is the feeling amongst the camps that fights can probably, I know like you made your point, and it is fair enough to say about purse bids and stuff like that, but does it feel like sometimes you have that initial meeting perhaps, and then it gets a little bit easier? I mean, what's the situation?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, any time. Like, this was before the AJ show. Like, anytime there's business to be done, anytime there's a conversation to be had, we're open to it. You know, there's always been a good line of communication between Ben Shalom and Frank Smith. But the reality is, and I'll keep going on about it, they haven't wanted to do business and they haven't wanted to make the fights. You can say you do and all this kind of stuff, but, you know, look at Tyler Denny, right? Tyler Denny had one fight on our show. He's fucking swum the channel, hit the jackpot, making a fortune to fight him. What?
He's with Sean Paul last night.
Yeah, no. So, good luck to him. But if he hadn't have taken that fight, if he hadn't have boxed on our show, he'd never have got that fight. So let the fighters take opportunities. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. So, yeah. I don't know how many fights there are to be made. Oppenheimer, Billum Smith. Adam Azim, Dalton Smith, you know, one day, maybe, I don't know. But what else is there?
I don't think I've ever seen stuff relaxed.
Honestly, mate, always open to make the fight.
Are you happy, Edward? You seem very relaxed and content and good.
I mean, yeah, that's right.
Scran a salad. I've never seen
I'm
you
very
relaxed. Usually I'm, you know, a little bit time conscious. I am time conscious, more because I want to get to the boozer and watch England. But like,
I'm very happy with the way things are going.
Yeah.
I think we're in a great position. Do you know what? Honestly, I am happiest when we've got a good show, we've got a great crowd, and we've got something great to look forward to. And at the moment, we've been on a brilliant run of big crowds, big energy, great nights. We've got this Saturday, then we've got 2 weeks off. Then we've got Riyadh season in Los Angeles, mega, August 3rd. Then August 24th, we've got Catterall against Prograis. We're going to announce 3 shows this week. 1 in England, 1 in America, 1 in Mexico. We've got AJ at Wembley, September 21st, Riyadh season. We're back to Riyadh October the 12th with Bivol Beterbiev. How can you not be happy?
Shakur Stevenson got a lot of criticism for his performance. What did you think?
As I said to you earlier, there's agendas in boxing. People will spin narratives. People will make stuff up. This is the fact. Shakur Stevenson boxed on Saturday with 0 promotion, right? With a promoter and a promotional company that knew he was leaving, so therefore decided to just not push it at all. He did a really good crowd in Newark. And it was the highest rating fight this year on ESPN. He's a pound for pound talent, but he's out on his own. It's Shakur Stevenson against the world. And
between yourself and Floyd. The Floyd one surprised me, I'll be honest.
Well, it might not be between me and Floyd because we might not make him an offer. Yeah, we might have a chat and he might be on a completely different page. So, but what I say is this. Shakur Stevenson is a pound for pound great. Now, he may not be all the time Arturo Gatti coming out, trading in the middle of the ring with his chin in the air.
Yeah.
But he's an outstanding talent, right? And against the right opposition, you are going to see the very best of him. Tank. I think the Williams Zepeda fight's a great fight for him as well. He's already a big star. He's just done a massive rating on ESPN. He's selling tickets in Newark, and that's on his own. He's a one-man band. Imagine me with a megaphone. He will come to Philadelphia on Saturday. He will look around at the crowd for Boots Ennis and go, "Fuck, that's Eddie Hearn on 4 months." So this is bread and butter to me. I can make Shakur Stevenson a global superstar because he's that good. But we've got to be on the same page. And I'm sure we'll have a chat with his team and see where we go.
Just finally from me, I know Oscar asked you a lot, and there just seems to be things coming out all the time. Now a public dispute between Ryan Garcia and his ex-wife or girlfriend or whatever, and some pictures of what looks like a smashed up house and things that have been trashed by Ryan. And I know what you're going to say. It's very sad. He said he skipped rehab to go to his brother's fight. I mean, what do you make of it all?
It's out of control, isn't it? Like, I think this is what happens with these kind of situations. They don't fix themselves. Either you grab hold of it and it gets dealt with, or it spirals so deeply out of control till something really bad happens. And hopefully it's not the latter.
Edward, thank you very much for your time. We are off to go and watch England versus the Netherlands in the semi.
Can't wait. What do you reckon?
I hope we win. Going to the final if we do, so fingers crossed. While I have you, and I believe Matty Lawless is in the room, so he can be the mediator of what I say. I have not done a HQ sit down since I joined, since I started up the Stomping Ground. It would be a privilege. I believe you now also have saunas and ice baths there, which is very us now. Can we make sure that that is a thing maybe sometime in the next 2 weeks?
Absolutely, definitely not. No. Yeah, but we can't rule it out for the future.
Oh, Edward, man.
All right, man. Yeah.
Cheers, mate. I'm going to hold you to that. All right, Edward.
All right, how's the Cotswolds these days?
Cotswolds, I've not been there, have I? Went on a little PJ to Geneva, Shan. No, what do you think when you watch it on social media? Like, genuinely.
What I said earlier.
Do you not think, oh, go on the boy?
No. We do a lot for charity. And this is another.
Horrible. You're horrible. Would you say it's running out of time?
No.
Oh. Said you. Right. All right. Enjoy your salad, Shan.
See you later.
See you later. Cheers, Matty.